World Cup, Caruana advances, Carlsen bounces back. Vincent Teimour only needed a draw to knock Magnus Carlsen out of the FIDE World Cup. Alexandra Goryachkina knocked out Nino Batsiashvili and thus won a third consecutive match without needing to play a single tiebreak game. Fabiano Caruana achieved an attacking, 27-move victory over Ray Robson in the second game of the All-American matchup. Arjun Erigaisi defeated fellow prodigy Hikaru Nakamura in their second encounter, and is set to face Grandelius in the next round. Nils Grandelius knocked out Jamie Santos. Vidit Gujarati played back-to-back exciting games against Etienne Bacrat, and managed to score 1.5 points to reach the next round. Ferenc Berks eliminated a higher-rated opponent for a third time in a row, as he defeated Ruslan Ponomaryov by a 1.5-half score in round 4. It is often noted that playing for a draw is a bad idea in these situations, especially against tough opponents. In Thursday's rematch, Carlsen managed to get a fighting position on the board, with kings castled on opposite sides and chances for both sides. In the early middle game, however, Carlsen played a natural-looking move that gave Teimour a tactical opportunity described by Peter Liko as a very strange motif. Carlsen noticed that he had just dodged a bullet when Teimour grabbed the queen on c3 instead of the pawn on e4, as he told press officer Michael Rahal after the game. Carlsen also mentioned that he felt his opponent was playing hesitantly throughout. Once the game shifted to an endgame with rooks and bishops of opposite colors, Teimour found himself needing to defend a difficult position against the toughest of opponents. Under these circumstances, it is not very surprising that the 17-year-old faltered eventually. Teimour was the only player who won on Wednesday and failed to advance after the second classical game of the round, as the remaining 4 winners of Game 1 drew the rematch and secured a spot in the round of 16. In addition, 2 players won Game 2 to make it through to the next stage of the event. Alexei Sarana upset Wesley So in their first game and safely drew the second encounter to leave the 6th seed out of contention. The Swedish GM had needed tiebreaks to advance in the previous 2 rounds. Caruana had 27 minutes to Robson's 3, with 21 moves left to be played before the time control, when he confidently opted for 20.bxh6 in the following position. Similarly to Robson, Vidit had less than 10 minutes, 8 to be precise, 21 moves before reaching the time control in his rematch game against Bacrat. Moreover, the Frenchman, in a must-win situation, had managed to provoke his opponent to enter a completely wild position. In the women's tournament, only one player had managed to gain a 1-point lead in the first game of the round of 16, and she was not one of the 3 players who secured a spot in the quarterfinals after Thursday's rematches. Bella Kodinashvili failed to get at least a draw against Humpy Koneru to make it through without needing tiebreaks. In a tension-filled game, Humpy prevailed despite erring at a few critical junctures of the struggle. The 3 remaining players who won on Thursday, and, unlike Humpy, already gained spots in the quarterfinals, were also rating favorites in their matches. Tan Nunyi knocked out her compatriot Ju Wenjun. Tan did play tiebreaks in her round 3 match against Minerva. Polina Shuvalova knocked out Teodora Injak, who came from upsetting 2021 World Cup winner Alexandra Kosteniuk in the previous round.